There are so many DC movies in development. Like, way too many. And I had this stupid idea to try and write down all of them and make a video about it. But chances are it's gonna be 2, maybe even 3 videos. I don't even know yet. But I feel like I'm wasting time by explaining this. So here we go. Every single DC movie that's coming. First up is Batman Soul of the Dragon. This is a direct-to-DVD animated movie. It was announced at DC Fandom. It's being released digitally on January 12th, 2021, and released on DVD January 26th. It's written by Jeremy Adams and directed by Sam Liu. A trailer for it was released in November, and the cast for it includes David Giuntoli as Batman, Mark Dacascos as Richard Dragon, Kelly Hu as Lady Shiva, Michael Jai White as Bronze Tiger, James Hong as O-Sensei, and Josh Keaton as Jeffrey Burr. Next is Justice Society World War II. So this was also an animated direct-to-DVD movie that was announced at DC Fandom and was announced for a spring 2021 release. That's literally all we have. We don't have any kind of cast or plot or writers or directors, just that it's coming out sometime in the spring. Next up, another thing that doesn't have a whole lot of info is Batman The Long Halloween. This is a 2-part animated movie adapting the very famous Long Halloween comic book storyline. It was again announced at DC Fandom. Part 1 will release in the summer of 2021, and Part 2 will release in the fall of 2021. Next up, we got the first one that you guys actually care about, The Suicide Squad. So, Suicide Squad 2 was first announced about a month before Suicide Squad came out back in 2016, and it was originally supposed to be written and directed by David Ayer, who wrote and directed Suicide Squad. Then, in September of 2017, it was announced that David Ayer was stepping away from the project, and that Gavin O'Connor was announced as the new director, and that he would be co-writing the script with Anthony Tambakis. Then, in June of 2018, David Barr Katz and Todd Stashwick announced as new writers for the script. The original plot for this movie featured more of the OG cast. It would have been more of a direct sequel and introduced Black Adam into the DC Extended Universe as the villain. And it was pretty much ready to film. They were planning on filming this in late 2018 before Birds of Prey went into production. And that version ended up being cancelled in September 2018 when Gavin O'Connor stepped down. James Gunn was hired as the writer for it in October 2018 after the Guardians of the Galaxy controversy happened, which, makes sense because Suicide Squad kind of was a ripoff of Guardians of the Galaxy. So he was then announced as the director, with the title of the movie now being The Suicide Squad, and the release date that it's kept since then of August 6th, 2021. That was all announced in January of 2019. Production started in September of 2019 and ended in February of 2020. So now it's in post-production, and it just kind of barely past where it would have had to shut down because of COVID. The first look trailer and that had behind the scenes information, as well as a cast video, was revealed at DC Fandom, but no official trailer has been announced. Now let's talk about cast here, and there's a lot to talk about here. Firstly, the returning cast includes Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang, Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, and Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag. Originally, Will Smith was supposed to return as Deadshot, but scheduling conflicts led to the character being recast with Idris Elba, but later it was rewritten so that instead Idris Elba would be playing a new character called Bloodsport. The new cast for the movie includes, Idris Elba as Bloodsport, as well as John Cena as Peacemaker, Peter Capaldi as The Thinker, Sylvester Stallone in an undisclosed role, Alice Braga as Sol Soria, Pete Davidson as Blackguard, David Dastmalchian as Polka Dot Man, Michael Rooker as Savant, Taika Waititi in an undisclosed role, Nathan Fillion as TDK, Storm Reed as Tyler Dubois, Daniela Mankior as Ratcatcher 2, Steve Agee as King Shark and John Economos, Sean Gunn as Weasel, Joaquin Cosio as Mateo Suarez, Juan Diego Soto as Silvio Luna, Julio Ruiz in an undisclosed role, Flula Borg as Javelin, Tinashe Kajesi as Flo Crawley, Mei Ling Ng as Mongol, Jennifer Holland as Amelia Harcourt, and John Ostrander as Dr. Fitzgibbon. It's a soft reboot for the first one, not really acting as a direct sequel, but it does still take place in the DCEU. Next up is The Batman. The Batman was originally announced back in October of 2014 as being a movie in development with Ben Affleck and Geoff Johns writing as being in the DCEU. Then in April of 2016, it was announced that Ben Affleck was also going to be directing. Later, in October of 2016, the title was revealed as being The Batman. Then, in December of 2016, it was revealed by Ben Affleck that filming was supposed to start in mid-2017 for a 2018 release window. Then we go to January 2017. Ben Affleck was now stepping down as director to focus more on acting on set, and Chris Terrio, who you know as one of the writers of BVS, as well as the main writer for Justice League and Zack Snyder's Justice League, was announced to be rewriting the script. Matt Reeves was officially announced as the new director of the movie in February of 2017, and in March, it was announced that he was writing a new script starting from the ground up, and not just, making adjustments to a previous script. Then, after much speculation, in January of 2019, it was announced that Ben Affleck was going to be leaving the project, and a June 25th, 2021 release date was announced. Robert Pattinson was cast as Batman in May of 2019. Since then, COVID has pushed the release date to October 1st, 2021, and then to March 4th, 2022. Filming for the project began in January, stopped in March, then finally resumed in September, and is planned to end sometime in February 2021. Back in February of this year, a teaser was released revealing the suit, and a teaser trailer for the movie was released at DC Fandom. The cast includes Robert Pattinson as Batman, Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Paul Dano as the Riddler, Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner James Gordon, John Turturro as Carmine Falcone, Peter Sarsgaard as Gil Coulson, Barry Keoghan as Stanley Merkel, Jamie Lawson as Bella Real, Andy Serkis as Alfred Pennyworth, Colin Farrell as the Penguin, Alex Ferns as Commissioner Pete Savage, and Rupert Penry Jones, Gil Perez Abraham, Charlie Carver, and Max Carver in undisclosed roles. Something to note is that this is no longer in the DC Extended Universe. It shows Batman in kind of year 2 of him being a superhero, so not an origin story, but also he's pretty new, and the Riddler will be the main villain. Next is DC Super Pets. DC Super Pets is an animated movie being theatrically released in 2022 by Warner Animation Group, the same guys that do all the Lego movies. Jared Stern was announced as writing and directing the movie in July of 2018, and the movie was officially announced in January of 2019 with a May 21st, 2020 release date, and it was also announced at that time that Sam Levine would be co-directing the movie with Jared Stern. In May of 2019, the release date was then pushed to May 20th, 2022, and at DC Fandom, they released the first kind of teaser trailer of the movie. But it wasn't one of those trailers where it has actual footage from the movie, just kind of showing it off a little bit. Next, we got The Flash. So, Greg Berlanti was announced to be developing a Flash movie in July of 2013. Then the movie as The Flash was officially announced in October of 2014 as a DC Extended Universe film for a release in 2018, sometime before Aquaman. Then in April of 2015, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, known for their work on Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the Lego movies, and now Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, were writing a treatment for the film, i.e. like a basic kind of outline story-wise, not a full script or anything. Then, in October 2015, Seth Grahame-Smith was announced as the writer and director of the movie. Then in April of 2016, he dropped out as director, and his script was still being used for a little bit after that, though. Then in June, Rick Famuyiwa was announced as the new director, and he ended up leaving in October of 2016. In January 2017, Joby Harold was announced to be rewriting the script from Page One, and as part of this new rewrite in July of 2017, it was announced that the film would be retitled Flashpoint. In March of 2018, John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein were announced as the new directors, and they were kind of using their own script, so the title reverted back to The Flash. Then in March of 2019, Ezra Miller and Grant Morrison were announced as the new writers. And then in July of 2019, Daly and Goldstein themselves dropped out, meaning that we've gone through like 3 sets of directors. Then in August of 2019, Andy Muschietti was announced as the new director. Christina Hodson has been considered the writer for a long time. I don't think there's really been any official confirmation on that, but she's pretty much the writer. Then in December of 2019, the release date of July 1st, 2022 was officially announced. Then back in April, it was actually pushed forward to June 3rd, 2022. And then back in October, it was pushed back to November 4th, 2022. Production is expected to begin in the early half of 2021. There's been no trailer, though some concept art of the new suit and the Batman that are going to appear in it has been released during DC Fandom, and confirmed cast members include Ezra Miller as The Flash, Ben Affleck as Batman, and Michael Keaton as Batman. There are also some rumored cast members that are like strong contenders, i.e. these people have been confirmed to be in talks for the movie, at least in past versions of the script. We just don't know 100% if they're still in the movie, and those include Ray Fisher as Cyborg, Kirsten Clemens as Iris West, who played Iris in the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League but was cut from the Joss Whedon version, and Billy Crudup as Henry Allen, who was in Justice League. It apparently does include Flashpoint and multiverse elements.